Yes, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Kalumpang, Ma'am Arlene. Basog madungog ra ko.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So let me share my presentation.
Hello, Ma'am. Ma'am Elise.
Yes, Ma'am Arlene. Good morning.
You are
Thank you
muted.
for this opportunity. Muted? Open akong kuan.
Mabati ra ka, ma'am, ta. Mabati ra ka.
Mabati ra. Okay, mabati ra ko na ko, ma'am. So for a while, I will share my presentation. Okay, hello everyone. Good morning once again.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, nadungog di ay ko. Salamat. Okay, so from those discussions on Marongko approach and Fowler approach, we will now shift our attention to mathematics. Okay, so to Ma'am Arlene, thank you so much for this opportunity, and to our CID Chief, Dr. Nilita Ragay, thank you for the permission. Okay. So our session is titled Teaching and Learning Numeracy in K to 3. So this is all. This is about the basic skills that the children should have, because we'll be talking about how our kindergarten to grade 3 learners will learn mathematics. So mathematics gives us the critical ability to learn and think logically in any field of endeavor. So a child's first years are a time of rapid learning and development. So it is very important that teachers to be assigned here in these levels are the best, no? The best teachers, coming from the good and the better. So the best teachers should be assigned in kinder to grade 3. Okay. I would like to share to you this quotation of William Paul Firestone. Mathematics is not about numbers, equations, computations, or algorithms. It is about understanding. So shall we have a sharing from our students? Will you please say something about this?
Students, kindly raise your hands to be recognized. Okay, can we have Crisabelan?
Thank you, Miss Giselle.
All right, we have Jocelino.
Yes. So I hope that we have still students here as our participants. No, naminaw pa sila.
Yes, ma'am. Naminaw ra, ma'am.
Okay, kinsa ron?
Si Jocelyn Solamilio.
Okay, Mr. Sulamilio, will you please say something about this quotation?
Yeah, what dumb?
Mathematics is not about numbers, equations, computations, or algorithms. It is about understanding.
Yes, for me, ma'am, mathematics is not just like solving problems, but at the same time, this is to uh, make our mind be comprehended at the same time, and be able to understand what's the current problem in our society by solving a very simple mathematical equation. So for me, ma'am, it's more on cognitive understanding for ourselves.
Okay, thank you. So the most important thing in mathematics is understanding. So our learners should understand first the concepts and the facts about the situation, about the problem presented. Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Sulamilio. And another scenario I'm going to share to you is a note. Now, this is a note found in one of the pages of the learner's diary. This is titled, Teacher, Can You Spare a Sign? This tells us the learner's worst experience during his math class. The second sentence is very inspiring. We have here, I love math and I really thought I knew and understand math. So this is very inspiring, right? But my math teacher sent me home crying every day because she marked my homework and tests wrong since I used to get my positive and negative signs wrong. I knew how to do the problems, but I always got my answers with wrong answer. This tells us the learner's worst experience. That I love math, so na tayo mga positive o inspiring. This is inspiring sentences we have here, but what happened, no? What is the child's problem? The teacher should have identified the gap and support this specific need of the child, which is the problem about the signs, the positive and negative signs. To reflect, the scenario illustrates the difficulties experienced by some unfortunate learners. They are unfortunate in the sense that the problem that the child or the learner have is not addressed. So can we afford to let such kind of teachers do to this kind of learner having this kind of problem? They affect the way a learners feel about math. So instead of inspiring them, they will be discouraged about numbers. So if you were the teacher, what should you have done? So reflect on that. Therefore, it depends upon every teacher to strive to improve his or her teaching style to increase the number of child liking and even loving mathematics. Such should start as early as in elementary grades. Furthermore, the use of varied and appropriate teaching approaches can entice more learners to like and love math. So, another scenario is this. In the picture, we can see here a boy crying. So, let me share to you this another situation of a child. That this morning, a child went to a burial ground and threw his school bag at his mom's grave and emotionally said in tears, "Enough, mommy, you have slept enough. Wake up, come with me to school tomorrow and give an answer to my teacher who likes saying, your mother is very careless. She sends you to school without lunchbox. She doesn't even dress you up properly, and neither does she make you do your homework. Life without you, mom, is not the same." This is a painful situation. So I have copied this from the post in the Facebook. Teachers in this scenario, no? should be careful enough not to hurt learners, even to the one who seems unlovable. We do not know what they have gone through. So as teachers, we should be very careful with our words, especially to the children like this. Sometimes maglantaw tas bata nga bulingoton. Come to school late, no assignment, and without knowing about the background of the child, sometimes will be an instrument of making this child discouraged instead of being inspired about numbers. We have this activity. So I would like to request our student participants to prepare a paper and a ball pen. So, and try to memorize these symbols, top to bottom, left to right. Okay, memorize. And then, now test yourself. On your paper, write the numbers from left to right. Okay, done. So let's have this answer. And will you please check your own work, okay? The first number is 1, 7, going down, 12, 3, 6, 4, 5, 10, 8, 9, 11, and 2. And then, kumusta ang atong score? Okay? Naay nakakuha og, what's the number of item here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Somebody got 12? Is there somebody here who got 12? Just say yes.
Students.
Maybe there's none. 11. 10. 7 to 9. 7, 8, 9. Score of 7, 8, 9. Is there somebody? There's none.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I got a score of 11, ma'am.
Okay, you got 11. Okay, very good. So, 1 here got 11. So, balik ta diri sa, nanata sa 8, no? Do we have a score of 8? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
3.
Okay, 3. So 11 and 3. So does it mean that I have only 2 students here? 11 and 3 scores. Okay. How about the others?
5.
5. Okay, 5. So, katutinganin mo lang sa, okay, now we have also a score of 4. And those who are silent, maybe they got, oh, they have not answered. Okay, so anyway, we have these questions regarding that experience, no? How did you answer the questions? that familiar with. So identify the number, and there is one who got 11, who got 8, who got 5. Okay, how did you answer? How did you get 11? Katong nakakuha 11.
Hello, ma'am. So this is Miss Rodriguez, ma'am. So we answered the questions based on your instruction, ma'am. You said that we have to write the from top to bottom.
Bottom.
So we are observing the numbers below the illustration you showed, ma'am. So we are, by the way, ma'am, I am with my classmate. We are duha mi diri sa kuan, ma'am, sa room. So we combine our
Your score.
minds, and yeah, so we write the numbers like 1, 7, 12, and you said we have to write from top to bottom. So yeah, after seeing the result or the answer you showed a while ago, ma'am, we got the same answer, ma'am. So but then haven't I haven't observed the 12, ma'am. The two number, like the number 2 in the last part, ma'am, it's 2, right?
Yes.
So pero ang akong nasulat ni ma'am is 12, so that's why I said we got only 11 score, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you for that sharing. And how about that one who got 5? Hello?
Same as kuan, ma'am. Same as what the instruction was offered like kanina, pero naglibog na jud ko, ma'am, kay ay naghinay mong good nag-load ang cellphone, so wala ko kita sa kaayo sa kuan. Technical issues yeah, ma'am. So what?
Okay, so the factor is that the technology, no? Is it the one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you for that. That one who got the score of 8. What is your basis? What are your basis in answering the questions? And we have here question number 3. What did you feel? What was the feeling? That one who got 5?
Yes, ma'am. Kuan, ma'am, it's a little bit kanang disappointing. Char. But
Why?
I almost aced it, ma'am, but last na pod ko nakakita sa slides before katong wala pa nimo na alter ang katong slides. So I could have done better if I paid notice much on the picture or on the slide rather.
Okay, so if you had more time, maybe you will be having a greater score compared to 5, right? Okay. So if you were the teacher, how will you teach the lesson? That one who got 11. Will you do the same, just like what I have done, to let the students memorize? Yes.
Not actually the same as what you showed, mom, because to be honest, we also have confusion all about that instruction. But yeah, it's all about steps on how to. We all know that in order to understand, we should follow basic steps. So basically, what we did there was to follow the follow the illustrations, for example, the arrows, it gives us clues. And basically, maybe with the help of prior knowledge of mine, that kind of language is something about numbers. So basically, it's not. Basically, it's combination of prior knowledge. So if we teach that to our students, maybe teach them first the basics on how to follow instructions. Because if they don't know follow instructions, then maybe they cannot comprehend what you are trying to, or what you're trying, or what the activity is all about. So basically, follow instructions, then yeah, the illustrations, the shapes, uh, the if I would to teach that kind of um, lesson, maybe I could provide my students like an activity that is similar to that, but instead directions. For example, my house. For example, my where is my house? Like something like that. Then where is, for example, the principal's house? Then a student would say, first you go to the right, then go to the left, something like that. A step-by-step process.
Okay, thank you for that sharing. Sorry ha, I cannot see your kuan kanang your name. Di ko na ako makita pod ang inyong nawong. So, kinsa ganito?
It's CJ, man, CJ from iPhone.
Okay, so thank you for that sharing. So the experience you just have had from memorizing the numbers to answering the test can be compared to our learners' experience. So it is just like learners who will be answering questions like those, and they do not know, they have no prior knowledge about numbers yet because they are yet in kindergarten or grade 1. So for sure, they will be having those unpleasant feelings like fear and other negative feelings. So much more, no? Namang ganin ninyo na experience, so how much more will our learners. So this is also a realization for us teachers that we should also be thinking about on how to teach our children in a better way, following steps, the correct steps, the basics, and all. So we should have a positive attitude about learning math. That's the most important thing. We will develop positive attitude among our learners. And we can only do this if we teachers also has this positive attitude. Remember, teachers can either make or unmake the child. So our objectives in this session, we have here 3. After the session, you will be able to explain the curriculum framework of mathematics, discuss how kindergarten to 3 children learn math, and tell the importance of understanding how children learn math. The implementation of the K-12 system began in the academic year 2012 and 2013, which means that the first full cohort of students to go through the whole K-12 system will graduate from high school in 2024. It is a national curriculum developed by the Department of Education. Schools in the Philippines are divided into kindergarten, elementary, secondary, and senior high. And this is the framework of mathematics education. So at the center, in the star, we can see here the twin goals. It is our aim to develop critical thinkers and problem solvers. To support the conceptual framework of mathematics, the two goals of mathematics in the basic education was formulated in mathematics curriculum. These two goals include critical thinking and problem solving. What the learners are expected to know and be able to do are clearly stated in the standard. So we have the learning area standard. So this is for math, standard for math. The learner demonstrates understanding and appreciation of key concepts and principles of mathematics as applied using appropriate technology in problem solving, critical thinking, communicating, reasoning, making connections, representations, and decisions in real life. So I know that you already know this. And this is just a sort of review, no? So from that learning area standard, we have also the case stage standard. So this is for the kindergarten to grade 3. At the end of grade 3, the learner demonstrates understanding and appreciation of key concepts and skills involving numbers and number sense, measurement, geometry, patterns and algebra, statistics, and probability. So these key concepts and skills nga kuan kabuok 5, this is expected to be learned sa atong kindergarten to grade 3. So this is also specified in its grade level, the concepts and the skills. So we have here for the grade 1, the grade 2, and the grade 3. So numbers and number sense as the concepts and skills for grade 1 will be teaching whole numbers up to 20, basic concepts on addition and subtraction. When we reach the child reach to grade 2, so they will be learning whole numbers up to 1,000, ordinal numbers up to 20th, money up to 100 pesos, the 4 fundamental operations of whole numbers and unit fractions. Then grade 3, whole numbers up to 10,000 this time, and ordinal numbers up to 100, money up to 1,000. So we can notice here that there is a spiral progression of concepts and skills in math in case stage 1. So we have the other concept and skill. So we have here geometry. So the same thing. The concepts and skills are progressing from grade 1, grade 2 to grade 3. So patterns and algebra, measurement, statistics, and probability. So time allotment for grades 1 to 3 is very familiar to us. We have here the grade 1, the grade 2, and the grade 3. So understanding child's math on their way, no? Okay, the K to 3 mathematics, as we all know, mathematics from K to 3 is a skills subject. It is the skills are the how-to parts of math. Children should master adding and subtracting before starting multiplication. They must know how to multiply and divide before attempting percentages. It is all about quantities, shapes, figures, functions, logic, and reasoning. The contents of mathematics include numbers and number sense, measurement, geometry, patterns, and algebra, and statistics and probability. The medium of instruction is in mother tongue. From kindergarten to grade 3, mathematics is taught in mother tongue. So how do children learn math? When the children start learning math? When the children learn to do first? And how do they learn to do this? Who helps children learn? First, through sensory motor explorations Young children develop the capacity for intuitive thought, or the ability to form conclusions and plan actions based on immediate physical impressions. Motor skills are something most of us do without even thinking about them. The gross motor skills include standing, walking, going up and down stairs, running, swimming, and other activities that use the large muscles of the arms, legs, and torso. We develop this mostly during childhood through play and physical activity. Sensory motor skills, also known as sensory motor skills, are those we use to take in information about the world through our senses and to develop our body's movement or motor response that information. So if we need to jump out of the way of speeding tricycle, we see headed our way, for instance. So that is why we always expect children to be always active. Mulihok gid na sila. They will not stay in the same place the whole day. We have also this logical thinking, one-to-one correspondence. Matching is the simplest and most direct way children compare whether collections of objects are equivalent or the same. With time and practice, the children develop an understanding of the rules or principles of counting. It's the idea that numbers correspond to a specific number. So it's not right to let our children memorize the numbers. So just like most of our mothers are doing to their children, okay anak, magtuon ta. Okay, sige, numero. 1, 2, 3, 4, counting numbers so without meaning. So this is not helpful to our children. Logical thinking, one-to-one correspondence. So matches object to object, matches object to picture, matches picture to picture, matches set of objects to numeral, matches numeral to number, word. Okay. Example, boxes for dimensionality, family members for size, distances in the classroom for space. So mga concrete objects. Teaching children numbers, it is very important to use concrete objects. Then to abstract. Logical thinking, this time is classification. So children sort and group things together based on common attributes and properties. Classifying is a basic strategy children use to organize the materials, people, and events, grouping objects based on a single attribute. Classification generates a series of mental relations through which children group objects according to similarities and differences, depending on different criteria, the shape. So group things according to the shape, the color, or the size. These relationships are the basis for the construction of logical mathematical thinking. Classification skills, grouping and regrouping objects based on multiple attributes. So example here, mga gamit sa pagkain at mga gamit sa paaralan. Mga gamit na gawa sa kahoy, mga gamit na gawa sa plastic, mga gamit na gawa sa guma. So our children should be exposed to varied materials na magamit nila in classification. So, based on multiple attributes or single attributes. Here in this particular picture, this describes the relationship between two sets of objects. Subsets, disjoint sets, intersecting sets. So the red hexagon together with the red triangle. And in the intersecting sets, the red circle. The blue circle is together with the yellow circle. Another logical thinking is the serration. Children assign a logical order to a series of objects based on gradual variations in a single attribute, example, the length. And the sequence of attributes that repeats my pattern. No? So another example of serration skills is this one. Arranges a set of 10 objects in a series based on a given attribute. So paano mo po pwedeng ayusin ang mga kahoy? Okay. The straw. So serration here is the putting items such as toys in height order. Classification is the difference between two similar items such as vases and roses. Another example of serration skills arranges two sets of 10 objects in a series and makes one-to-one correspondence between two sets, serial correspondence. Paano maaaring ayusin ang mga bat at mga bola para ang bawat isa ay may kapares? So, through this activity, the child will have the skill on serration, the serial correspondence. Another example here, understands ordinal correspondence. Aling tungkod ang makukuha ng taong ito. Okay? So, isang tao, one man here will correspond to one tungkod there, basing on the height, the length. Another serration skills is the recognizing patterns or a sequence of attributes that repeats. The color patterns. We have here the red, the yellow, the red, and the yellow. Another is the dot patterns. So logical thinking on conservation. So what is conservation? It refers to a logical thinking ability that allows a person to determine that a certain quantity will remain the same despite adjustment of the container, shape, or apparent size, according to the psychologist Jean Piaget. So for example, in the conservation of length problem, a child is shown two sticks of equal length laid side by side. After the child confirms that the sticks are of equal length, the experimenter moves one of the sticks slightly to the right in full view. So just this one. Okay. So the two glasses with water is shown to the child, and the second picture here, another container is changed, ulihan og lain, but same amount of water is poured into that container. And the third picture here, the child points to the one, maybe he is saying that this has more water than the other. Okay, so if it is this case, so the child has not yet developed this logical thinking on conservation. Another one, alin ang mas marami? So kung ito ang gagamitin natin, so conservation number, conservation of equivalence of number. So alin ang mas marami with different arrangement of the objects. Conservation of fractions, aling bahaging may kulay ang mas malaki. Okay. With just a change of position. Conservation of length, aling tali ang mas mahaba. And also, conservation of distance, aling kotse ang mas malayo ang nilakbay. Okay. So we can really, we can use as many materials or situations as we can. Conservation skills. Another example here is the conservation of volume. So Alin sa dalawang gusali ang gumagamit ng mas malaking espasyo? Or we can have this conservation of volume, continuous substance. Aling baso ang mayroong mas maraming tubig? Aling lalagyan ang mayroong mas maraming tubig? Okay. Nag-iba ang lalagyan sa pangalawang larawan. Conservation of mass. So this time here, the second picture shows that the other object has changed its form. The concept of number include the innate ability to distinguish between sets of objects. So the concept of number emerges as children sort materials into groups and collections. It develops along with children's understanding of classification and seriation. The understanding of number involves children's emerging understanding of one-to-one correspondence is shaped by children's developing sense of conservation. So as we look at the children, we had a picture here. So it seems that they are only playing, but they are learning something. So learning to small children should be enjoyable. Okay, we have here figure number 1. We can also hear the number 1 as a word, and another one is a picture. So this supposedly be used to our learners in kindergarten to 3 if we are going to introduce or to teach them number 1 so that it has meaning. May picture na ilang bola o ilang circle here for representing number 1 and also the word. The concept of addition. So the understanding of addition and subtraction involves the logic of inclusion, and it can also be reversed. So in subtraction is the reverse of addition. No? Addition, a mathematical operation that represents combining objects into a larger collection. So I have here 6 tips on how to teach addition and subtraction in kindergarten. So, first, we have to develop number sense. Teach addition first concretely. So we will use objects, real objects, then use games and fun activities, introduce addition abstractly, then use lots of concrete practice with subtraction, and then repetition. The child learns that some things that have been changed can be returned to their original state. So that is the reversibility of thought for addition and subtraction. While multiplication and division, before your child can begin to practice division problems, they first need to understand the concept of division. Explain it to them by relating the idea of division to the idea of sharing. Help them conceptualize it by explaining how a number of items can be shared equally between groups and give them examples. The concept of time. Since time is an abstract concept, it cannot be seen. Young children's thinking about time is grounded in active sensory experiences. So, sa kanilang experience. Infants have one-dimensional concept of time and can only understand time in terms of the present, here and now. So, kapag ginugutom sila, they're hungry right now. They cry, they're hungry. So, what they only know is now, no? Preschoolers can remember and talk about things in the past and anticipate things they want to do in the future, so the before and after. In math, time can be defined as an ongoing and continuous sequence of events that occur in succession from the past through the present to the future. The concept of space. Children's experience with and understanding of spatial relationships begins in infancy as they visually track the paths of people and objects. Once they become mobile, they learn to move through space, finding their way from one location to another. The concept of space in geometry. Geometry is a mathematics concerned with the position or location in space. So as we look at this picture, the picture are playing. So in a classroom scenario, this happens. So with the teacher, with the guidance of the teacher, that the teacher let the learners play with so may kaakibat na competency to develop ang activity na ibibigay sa mga bata. The concept of space, topological relations. So, proximity, the farness or the nearness. Number 2, separation. Distinguish one object shape from another. And also the order, left and right, top and bottom. The fourth, enclosure, surrounding. Okay, so before this reflection, so we have actually discussed the different concepts and okay, before giving this activity as our reflection, is there any clarification? Hello?
None, ma'am.
None, ma'am.
Is there any clarification from our students?
None, ma'am.
None, ma'am.
None, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you. So let us now have this reflection. Choose the best strategy suited to your learners. Number 2, explain how you will employ it in the class. So you are going to write this and submit this to your maybe sa atong teacher o sa okay, this is one of your outputs in this session, okay? The reflection. Again, choose the best strategy suited to your learners. So if you are already practicing, so you can base the learners that you have had during your practice teaching and explain how you will employ it in the class. Okay? So why is it important for teachers to understand how children learn mathematics? Battery low. Natay charger, ma'am? Is it important for teachers to understand how children learn mathematics? Is it yes or no?
Students,
Yes.
is it a yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Thank you for that. And ano yan? Di na mo lihok. Okay, understanding how children learn math is very important because it can help teachers decide how to introduce a topic and foster mastery. And it can also provide guidance on what is important to examine and on how to evaluate progress. It can aid teachers in anticipating when and why children will run into difficulty and how to prevent or remedy learning difficulties. Understanding is actively constructed from within and involves changing thought patterns. Therefore, teachers need to help children to see connections and change perspectives. There are limits to learning. Therefore, teachers need to consider individual readiness, plan for meaningful learning to take a long time. So it is very important that teachers know their learners. That is why in a situation like this, that we have this pandemic, our teachers in the division of Negros Oriental, they're having this survey. And out of the survey, we got some information, and we have this learner's profile. So this profile will tell the teachers about the students because they are not having face-to-face with the learners. So they can tell whether the child is ready or not, or what is the situation of the child, what are the needs that they are in, and what the teachers can do to help them. Understanding is actively constructed from within and involves changing thought patterns. Therefore, teachers need to help children to see connections. So it is not just og maparehag college nga board and chalk ang ato ang kauban sa teacher. In the lower grades, especially in kindergarten to grade 3, they need models. They need real objects. They need representations. Talking and writing about concepts develop a deeper understanding. Using a child's dominant language helps him better understand concepts. That is why we are using mother tongue in teaching mathematics. Teachers should have an understanding of developmentally appropriate practice activities, or the DAP. So what is this? It focuses on children birth to 8 years old and is made up of 3 principal components: the age appropriateness, individual appropriateness, and cultural appropriateness. The DAP, teachers should have an understanding of child growth and development. The classroom must be a welcome environment of everyone's cultural background. Developmentally appropriate practice activities should be intentional, challenging, and achievable. Recognizing and adapting practices based on the cultural background of its child is developmentally appropriate practice. A child's age, personality, temperament, and family history are all factors that affect their development. So, we have here the second activity. Give commitment statements you promise to do for your learners for this school year onwards. Okay, so this is the second one, the second output that you are going to submit to your teacher. No? The commitment statements you promise to do for your learners for this school year and onwards. So may I share to you this something from our secretary, which she said, teaching innovation should not start in the university level, but in the basic education to inculcate to our learners the desire for knowledge and creation. That is according to our secretary, Dr. Leonor Magtules Briones. So before I would say thank you, I will again ask og naabay ato ang mga clarifications.
None, ma'am.
None, ma'am.
Yan.
None, ma'am.
Okay, so for that, I'd like to say thank you so much again, Ma'am Arlene Kalumpang and the faculty of Foundation University, and to all our participants, the students. Thank you so much for your for listening. I hope that you got something from this session. Thank you.